Hello my friend from the internet, welcome to my channel. I am Julius and today we're looking at this mini project of a loading bar using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. So before we go into the project, please remember to subscribe and like this video in order to get notification in my future videos. Let's jump right into our VS Code and see. Now from here we don't have a lot from our index.html document here, so what we just have here is combination of three files. One is the HTML we're able to see here, and the second one here is the style sheet, which is having basic resets, and then some definition of these variable colors that we're going to be using, and our JavaScript is completely empty. Now let's get back and we go to the body section and create some div with a class of container. Now inside this we're going to have the two wording here, the loading and 100% in a certain div, and we're going to give it also a class of loading info. Loading dash info, and then inside that we shall have some h2. So h2 will contain the word loading with these three beautiful dash or dots, depend on which one you like. And then the next one is going to be paragraph tag, and here we're going to have some initial hard coding value of 20%. I think we're done with this. Let us save this document. Before we save it, let us have a look at just open it with live server. Live server is an extension which is very important. When you refresh, it loads for you automatically. So here, when we refresh this page, by saving it, you can see we have already what I've just written here, that is loading and 20. So we get out of this div and then we create a horizontal rule. So the first horizontal rule, we are going to give it a class of loading dash bar dash behind, and then I'm going to duplicate this. It's also going to be loading bar, and I'm going to write there from. Now what happened here when you save, you can see we have this horizontal rule, two of them next to each other. So basically we're done with our HTML. So let's get into our CSS. So in our CSS we're just going to have some styling here, starting from our body section. So we will give their body, and inside this body, what are we interested to have? We're going to display everything to flex, and then we are going to have some mean height of 100 view height point, and then next we shall also have some justification of this content into the center. So I'm going to have justify content center. If I save this one here, you can see everything has been brought to the center here. And then let's proceed with our styling. We also need to align this item horizontally at this level such that we have horizontal and vertical being centers. As you can see, it has been pushed. So the next thing also we wanted here is we want to bring in some background color. For now it is white, so it is important to give some slight background color. So we say background color, and I'm going to use this variable. So my variable for the background color is this one here, which is the light gray color. If I save, you can see some changes around, like assuming I command this one out and save, you can see I've just gone back to light. Now let me come back again. Let us have it back, and you can see it's back here gray. So that is so great so far. Let's move on to the next. So the next one here is going to be container. So our container is going to have some styling. There's nothing fancy here. We're going to have some width of around 300 pixels. Now you can see our width has expanded there, and since we have something inside, we're going to have it in a position of relative. So we're going to say relative, and then let's move on and style our, we need to style our loading info. And remember, we have a class of loading, that's info, and inside this loading, that's info, what do we intend to do inside there? We also want to display this thing flex, such that we will have these words side by side. So display flex, just white content, space between. What do I mean by space between? On refreshing, you will see that they will go to the extreme end of this container. And then next, want to align them center, because you can see that now this one is looking above, that one is somehow below. So we're going to justify this content center, and then align item also what? Center. And right now they are in the same horizontal line. I think that is so great. Let's provide some more spacing here. Now the next also want to give some margin, because I'm seeing our horizontal rule mixed up, so we're going to have some margin from the bottom. Margin, sorry, bottom should be around 30 pixels. That is it. So we're done with our margin bottom of 30. So the next thing also want to do is want to give some rules which are common to both the front and the behind what loading bar. We have just there's no styling at the moment here basically, so let's provide that and have some loading dash bar dash behind. And then comma, we also do the same to the next one there. The common styles, we're going to have them all in the same. So I'll have also bar dash front. So after here, we need to apply some rules, and one of the rules is we need to have the position absolute, because earlier on the container in which they are, the position was relative. And next, we want to have border none. We don't need some border. So next, we want to give some height to both of them, around 8 pixels. Now what happened? The next, also going to give some border radius of 5 pixels. Now, having done that, since we're not given any color, they have just disappeared, and I'm going to look at them one by one, starting with the behind one. So let's copy this class and paste it down here, and we have some styling also there. Now we wanted the width to be 100%, meaning taking the whole container of 300 pixels. And the next one here also, we want to have the background color set. And what is our background color going to look like? I want to select this variable. Now variable we have this, so I think it's going to be our color. Now when I save it, we'll be able to see our background set also here, because it is already containing some color. Something is not connecting right. Okay, sorry, we're not given the dot here, so we have dot and save it. Because it's a class, so here we go. We have our light gray color behind the other one. So the next one is going to be the font. In this font, we're going to provide a different color that will be loading when we prompt it to do so. So let's press it here and also have some styling. What do you want? Assuming we want to give some width, give some width here, and the width could be like 40 pixel, and then we also provide some background color. Now we're going to give the background color of bar, this variable. That's the color we're going to use. After saving, right away we have something printed and it's matching like what something here we've written earlier on. I think also let's have some styling for the paragraph that we had earlier on. So our paragraph tag is going to have some styling of one. We need to have some font size. Okay, the font size will be around 18 pixels. And then when you save it, you see it increasing a little bit. And let's have some font weight. Now we can say font weight. So this will be font weight. So the font weight will be the bold. And when you save it also, you can see everything is done perfect. And one thing we have not, I think it's the default font family. Now the next, I think let's put on in our recite style here, or in our body, some nice font family, and we can say cursive. So when you save it, you will see that what is happening. I think we had some font family given there before in our general reset. So let's consider this. Let me just have some font back of sans serif, and then we'll take this off. Our finished project, just don't need it at the moment, so let's cancel it off. Likewise here in our document. So what is the problem? I think let me take this one off from here, and then consider this one instead. See, yeah, good. So it has connected perfectly. We have a nice loading bar looking great. So the next, we've already made our hard coding using HTML and CSS. So the next is going to our JavaScript and then add some script there. So what do? The first thing we need to do here is to come back to our HTML file and then grab these two, because what we intend to do is to have this value changing as the var is loading here, and then meaning we're just going to grab some paragraph text here and then somewhere our front. So let's go to the style sheet, to the JavaScript folder, and then we declare some variable. So I'm going to use keyword const. I can say from bar. I'm going to grab this one here from the DOM using document.query selector. And I'm going to use this class. The class was loading. So since it's class, we're going to use loading with a dot, loading dash bar dash from. And then next we're going to duplicate the same thing and then change. So the next one here is going to be I want to see some counting, because that paragraph is containing some counting of numbers. So we're going to write there count the number, things like that. And then what is it? It's a paragraph. So we're going to delete this and replace it with paragraph. That is it. And then we're done with the selection. So the next one here, we want to write some functions, but we first want to initiate some variable here. I can call it index equals to. Now we're going to give there 0. What is this 0 representing? The 0 here is representing the first value we have here. In fact, we want to remove this because we don't want hard coding. We just needed this one here to be done automatically by our JavaScript. So by removing it, when you save it, quickly find it is gone from here. Now there we don't have anything apart from us writing some function. So we can say function keyword, and what is the name of our function? Let's say update. Let's say update what bar. Parenthesis. So after this parenthesis, we have some curly bracket open, and let's call this function outside here, but just open it and then paste it down here. And then let's make sure that this function works by alerting something. So we can say alert. Great, so you see the pop-up here. Our function is okay, it's perfectly working. So let's remove it, and then what do you want to do inside this function? We want to get this enter number because it must be changing. So by just opening it here and then pasting it inside our function, and then we give it an inner text. And what is that inner text we want to give? We say equals to. Now we bring what we have here, meaning we're just graphing this 0 into our inner text to appear in the DOM here. So we shall bring our index, and then yeah, we add some percentage sign. So we say plus, double quotes or single quote works here, and then we say percent. Now we finish it by semicolon, and then when we save it, you'll quickly see that we have our 0 and the percentage sign here dynamically created by JavaScript, and that is so great. So the next one, in the next line, we're going to have what happens again. We've already done with this one here. We're coming to our front bar, which has been stored in this variable front bar. So let's copy it and then bring it down here and then paste it and say we're changing the styling. And we remember the style that we had earlier on was about length, the width. So we are going to, we're going to have it here, dot width. Now what is that width going to be like? It's going to be also our index. As the index, that number changing, we also need our width to be changing. So we're going to add in our percentage also as well. So we have our percentage here in open parenthesis, in open bracket and close bracket, either single or double will work. Now next here, for now we don't see any. And then one thing we have to do here is we need to change this into 0. You can see it's 0% already. So in our index, we do not want to see the 0. We'll just move it out here, and then that is good. And then let's get back there and see what is the next thing. So the next thing here is we want to increment. As soon as we continue loading, we need this number to be also increasing. So we're going to increment it by 1. And what are we incrementing? We're going to have our index. We have 3 ways of writing this. Either one, the best simplest one is we write plus plus, or you can say this is equals to plus equals 1. That is another way of writing it. Or the other one, just say equals to and then index again, and then plus 1. So those are the 3 ways in which we can write to make this increment. But for now, I think I need a short form of just simply saying plus plus here. Now next, we're already done with that declaration, and we can see if we refresh, we see something flashing.